Francis, for interviewing me and giving me an opportunities to connect with the community of Vail. I was there in 2019, and I don't know if everybody remember. My name is Nasreen Sheikh, and I am the founder of Empowerment Collective, a non-profit organization that is working to end modern day slavery. And I do this work because I'm a survivor of modern day slavery. And for many people who might not understand what modern day slavery means, and it is basically somebody who born in very and I will give that example from my own life experience, and which is like, my name is Nasreen Sheikh, and I come from a small undocumented village called Rajora, and I don't even know how old I am. I can guess maybe 28, 29 years old. And in my village, I witnessed a lot of atrocities and lots of problem. Very male-dominated society, highly populated, and every single girls were being forced into marriage. And I knew that I will be next, and I had to do something. I had to take some big challenge to overcome where I am today. So that's a little bit of a story of me, and I'm going to share more about what happened to me when I was in the textile factory working as a child labor. How did I started my small social enterprise business, and how now my bigger mission is to really end modern day slavery. So thank you so much for having me here.
Of course. Thank you for being here. Can you please share a little bit about your company, Empowerment Collective, your mission, and some of the incredible things that you guys have accomplished?
Yes. So a little story around my sweatshop experience is, I think I was around 9 or 10 year old when I was forced to work in a sweatshop, which means like a 10 by 10 room with 6 people. We ate, we slept, we worked in that 10 by 10 room, and we produced like hundreds of garments. And I was making same clothes and same stitch over and over and over and thousands of times, and I felt like a machine, and I was fed like animal and worked like machine. That type of energy, and like imagine being 10-year old and just working non-stop 12 to 15 hours a day, and you're being forced by the manager, to complete the mountain of garments that they would put in front of you, and you have to finish it. And only that's only then you will receive less than $2, and if you fail to finish you receive nothing. So for that reason we had to keep working, and sometime I had nobody to talk to, so I would talk to the shirt and to the clothes that I was making, and I would say like, whoever is going to wear these clothes, I hope they can feel me, I hope they can feel my bloods and my tears. So I tell people like, if you don't know where your clothes come from, we might be consuming suffering. So it is very important to know what we consume, what we wear, what we eat, what type of chocolate we are eating, what type of coffee that we drink, what type of clothes that we wear. That has a ripple effect on the like underserved communities. Like, we might not see that, but it has a ripple effect, and because of that disconnection, when I faced and when I realized in my life, I felt like I need to do something, and I think I was around 15 or 16. That's when I didn't even had a document, and I went to this, someone, and knocked their door and says like, I need to have some loan, can you give me a loan? And the people like, rejected me. I tried 6 times. So when you are determined with something and like, consistent, you will get, even though people will shut the door. So like I was keep going, and I was keep knocking his door, and finally this person gave me the loan. And with that loan I started a social enterprise with an idea to really bring people together, and the women together who were working for the sweatshop, and like bringing them out of that situation and teaching them how to make ethical, fair trade and sustainable clothing, where these women can tell the story of their garments, and say like how much it takes, to make one jeans. It takes 300 gallons of water, that one person can drink for a year. So we are not necessarily selling the products, but we are selling the stories to the people, and that and awareness, because nobody wants to buy jeans 20 or 40 times more when they will understand that one jeans takes 300 gallons of water. So when we started to raise awareness and do business in a more social way and more ethical way, what happened is our business became like a place for activism, like local journalists, local women, local people started to come, and they started to bring their ideas to invent. And in 2012, like after 4 years later, we were published in Forbes magazine, and I did not even knew what Forbes magazine was. And today, so far, we have trained up to 5,070 women, and through our nonprofit organization, until today date, we have feeded nutritious meal to the most vulnerable people, to 400,000, 1,100, 269 meals. So that's the impact that we are making in the ground. And really, my dream is to bring basic human rights to the most vulnerable communities, and just protecting the water and protecting the food and bringing basic education, so people within that communities are empowered enough to become a change maker, entrepreneurs or problem solvers. Because Vail community can't come and solve Nepal problems, but Nepali communities, if they're empowered, they can solve that problem. So that's what we are working on, and that's the little brief about my work, because I will talk all day long.
I love that. And your story your fight is really so empowering and inspiring. Could you please talk a little bit about the role that education had in your life?
Yeah, oh my God. Education is the key. It's a key to the freedom. And I still remember when I was in the street, and I see, children going to the schools, and my life was so different because I was a street kid, and I wanted to go to the school. I wanted to have a book. I wanted to have a uniform and shoes, and I couldn't. And after a while, with the help of kind person, he became my teacher. And I did not had the privilege to go to the school or have many different type of teachers and the resources. So this kind person, his name is Leslie John, he became my mentor for almost 10 years, and he taught me how to read and write. And with that, how to read and write, with that piece literally gave me an awareness of understanding who I am, and what is my right as a human being. And once I understood that, and then I look all around my communities, I saw that, oh my God, everywhere it was human rights violation was happening, and it was normalized. So I had to do something. And that's when, like, I feel like with that education, I was able to see the problem in the community. And then with that education, I was also able to come up with a solution to solve that problems, and try to end the sweatshop. Because in Nepal, only 2% women own the businesses, and 98% is run by the male. And most of those businesses are built on the back of modern day slaves. So we were like, literally, like, we need to end that, and we need to bring more women into businesses, and we need to end this slavery. So that, because of that education, it gave me that inspiration.
I have to agree with you that education really is key. Finally, to wrap up, what is your message of impact that you would like to leave with our community here in the Vail Valley, particularly our youth?
Yes, I feel like, when I think of youth, is youth are the future, and future is very, especially in this time, we are in a tipping point, where we need to think differently. We need to be more compassionate, we need to learn to question things more, and I will just give you an example. Like when you go to this fast fashion store, or like you go to these major department stores, I want you to not just look at the tag, but I want you to think about the people who made those products, and if you can, please use your money and your your dollar as an energy to support local businesses, small businesses, sustainable and ethical and fair trade businesses, because this is so important to keep the economy localized, so we don't perpetuate the whole supply chain. Because according to the research, in every in like modern day slavery is embedded in our global supply chain. It exists in every major supply chain also. So that's why it's so important to be aware and start supporting the local artists, local businesses, small businesses, businesses like localwomenshandicrafts.com. Like if you visit that website, you will see like how the women's are representing their stories and their crafts, and they're telling their stories, those types of businesses, because they're working so hard to bring the change through the business, and we need to support them. And youth is just like, if you have internet, and if you have a clean food and clean shower and books, you are one of the luckiest person in this planet right now. And you need to use that resources to bring more positive change in all over the world, even in your own communities, and that will have a ripple effect. So that's what I would really leave the message with all of the youth. And you know they can they can always like ask questions, please ask questions, because it's so important. I feel like if 10 years ago, if somebody would have asked question, who made my clothes, I didn't had to work in the sweatshop, and maybe my childhood was not stolen in slavery, so I had to do a lot of hard work to heal myself and come forward and speak and educate, so imagine with the power you have, what you can do, so please use every bit of time as a very precious time to bring only positive change if you can. Thank you.